colleagues from other teams that have joined us to help us share some information with you, look at some of the key themes that have come up around, how we feel our children are experiencing using the internet, but also what we can do to support them when they use the internet. So my name's Gazella Fard. I'm a BSIL Early Help Senior Practitioner. I work with quite a lot of the children's centres and within the Early Help team of Newham. We're going to start off with just some questions for you guys before we get into sharing the information. But I just also wanted to make you aware that if you have any questions, please drop it off into the chat at the bottom, or there is a question and answer section on Zoom if you have any specific questions. Because it's a webinar, we won't be able to unmute everybody to ask open questions, but if there's anything that you would like to share with us, please put it in the note in the message section. So let's start off with our polls. Right, so first thing we would like to know is who is in this room today. It's really important to know who's attending, so a window should open up on your screen, and if you can choose whether you're a child, a young person, a dad, a mum, a foster carer, or a professional. Right, got 8 people, a bit more. Great. Yep. Right, so we've got quite a few mums, got dads, we've got children, we've got foster carer and professional. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Next poll question, please. So we've been running these sessions for quite a while now. We wanted to know if you've actually attended any of these workshops before. Yep. Any other answers? Got 11 of 18. Any more answers? Right, so 3 of you have attended these sessions, but 9 of you haven't. That's really interesting. If you have any comments about, how you heard about this webinar and how come you've joined, please drop it in the message box, because it will be really interesting to know, how you found out about our session today. Next question, please. How are you feeling right now? We know that children went back to school this week. So, things might have changed to your other, norm that we've had all this time. So how are you feeling today? Great, okay, anxious, stressed, sad, or angry? Right. Any other responses? Got 14 of 21, 15 of 21. Right, so we've got mostly great, some are okay. We've got a few people that are feeling anxious and angry. We hope that, since you've joined this session, this might help with some of the difficulties you're experiencing at the moment around, internet use and being at home. Poll question 4, please. Right, so this takes us into the nitty-gritty of today's session. So how confident are you at keeping your children safe online? So we've got very confident, quite confident, not really sure, not very confident, and not confident at all. Right, a few more responses. We've got 14 out of 24, 15. Right. Any other answers? Any other responses? Right, so we've got some people who are very confident. We've got mostly quite confident parents. We've got a few parents who are unsure and a couple of parents who are not very confident. Right, so we hope that this session will, raise some awareness and understanding about, internet and what you guys can do as parents to make sure that your children are safe online. So thank you for joining our poll. Right. Should we go on the first slide, please? Right. So the aim of our session today is, as a title, we're going to look at keeping children safe online. We want to just increase understanding of your child's online world. We want to give you some practical strategies and approaches to keep your children safe online, and also building around, confidence, having some of these conversations that you can have if you have, your your older children who, might have their own phone, might have their own laptops or iPads, or, just to talk about how can we as parents just have a conversation with our children about their internet use. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Penny, who is going to share all that information with you guys. Thank you.
Hi and good afternoon, everybody. So my name's Penny. I'm the Parent and Creative Activities Manager in Head Start Newham. The content of this session has been developed with the NSPCC, so the National Society for the Protection of Children. So that's the background to where the contents come from. So before I start, I'd just like you to close your eyes for a moment and think about all the ways in which you use the internet. So what do you do online? Where do you do it? Do you do it on your laptop? Do you do it on a phone? Do you do it on a tablet? So, and then what types of things is it that you do online? And once you've had a think about all of the things that you do online, you can open your eyes back up again if you did close them. And just having a think about how in the last year we have used technology to survive and thrive and connect. And the technology has been so amazing. We couldn't have even conceived of holding an event like this in this way with you at this exact point a year ago. So that just goes to show how rapidly things can change for us. Our access to the internet and the power of our smartphones build massive opportunities for all of us who can access it. And in the last year, we've seen almost every aspect of our lives be supported through some type of technology, whether it's shopping, banking, ordering food and takeaways, doing online virtual learning, and for many of us, our working lives have shifted into that digital space. And it's been even more so for our children. It's been a way for them to stay in touch with their friends and to learn and to play. So thinking about what we do online, what is it that our children do online? Let's just take a brief look at each one. So the first thing that they do is they play. Play is something that all children do. It helps with development and social skills. Children love to play games online, whether it's on their own or with others. And there are also lots of educational games out there too. And programs like Minecraft are even being used in school. So children are motivated by enjoyment of their use of online play. Sorry, children are motivated by their enjoyment in their use of online play is a big part of that. Secondly, they create. Our children bring home all sorts of wonderful creations from school. So of course, they want to use the internet to get creative. Sites like PopJam encourage them to create pictures that they can share. There are apps for coding that allow them to design their own games. There are apps that allow them to share images and videos and be creative. And music And all of these things are a way of them expressing themselves. And for younger children, there are apps for them to pretend to be a hairdresser or a chef and things like that. So it's a way in which they can have a creative outlet. They learn. Learning is an opportunity. There is a big opportunity for learning online. We've learnt that massively in the last year, and children's lives revolve around learning and discovering new information, and the way in which they engage with the internet is no different. For many young people, the internet for them is a resource for helping them with their learning or simply finding out about new facts and pieces of information. The content they discover is driven by a combination of the school environment and their personal interests. Lots of homework is done online nowadays. Even schoolwork is done online at points in time. Being online also provides a real learning benefits for those with additional needs, where you can use different technological tools that increase accessibility through repetition and use of videos and accessible content. And they connect. The online world offers a fantastic opportunity for children and young people to go online and connect with friends and make new ones. And children love to be sociable. How many of you use the online world to keep in touch with family across the world? For children, staying in touch with their friends and family has become an essential benefit of internet access, especially in the last year. Older children with mobile phones are helping to fuel the emerging notion of being always online and contactable. Popular messaging apps such as WhatsApp and Snapchat come with the expectation that a child will respond, or anyone will respond, to friends and family as soon as possible. The nature of keeping in touch online and with the use of emojis and expressive elements can also be beneficial for children with additional needs who may find it difficult to read people's emotional responses or intonations in conversation. The internet can provide a sense of community for children and young people, both on the global and local scale. And social networking allows for them to develop their offline and face-to-face relationships in the online world, catching up on the latest gossip and arranging to meet their friends. All of these things are what children like to do offline as well, or in the real world, and all of these things are part of their normal development. If you want to know what your children are doing online, the best thing to do is to talk to them about it. It's helpful to just take the time to be curious, interested, and to praise children for their creativity online. I've got a couple of poll questions now to ask you, if that's okay. So the first one is, what age is your child? And the second one, which is also on the screen, I think, is how many hours a day does your child roughly spend online? And this is assuming that if they're school age, that they're in school. So we've got 13 of 27 of you. So no one with children under the age of 5. That's interesting. So I've got 15 of 27 anymore. Got 19 of 27. Still another minute. And I think that's probably everyone who's going to vote no. So the majority of you with children in the 10 to 15 age range, and 9 of you saying that 1 to 3 hours a day, and 7 saying 5+ hours. So quite often parents have, we hear quite a lot from parents about their concerns about their children's time spent online and the things that they do online. And these, but generally the risks around being online relate to 3 specific areas. And the worries that you have as parents mirror the things that children are worried about. The risks are wide and varied, but they can all be bundled into 3 major categories. And the NSPCC is working with O2 to keep children safe online as part of a major national partnership. So as a result, there are lots of free resources available to parents, like a technical helpline, and via the NSPCC, and also when the O2 shops start to open again, you can go in there and they will help you to set up parental controls on phones and devices for your children to help protect them. So the 3 kind of categories that are really helpful for you to keep in mind and keep the risks really simple in your mind in this really easy way. A lot of the internet wasn't designed for children, so it goes without saying that they might come across inappropriate content. By this, we mean things that can include racial hatred, violence, dangerous advice encouraging them to do things like eating disorders, self-harm or suicide. They might see content around unrealistic body expectations, gambling sites, pornography, homophobic messages, hate and bullying sites, and extremist material, or inauthentic and inaccurate content. Newham's had a big project with young people to unpack the fake news that has occurred around the pandemic. In 2017, so this is slightly old data now, 17% of 8 to 11-year-olds and 29% of 12 to 15-year-olds reported seeing worrying or nasty content. So whatever the scenario, you want to decide how best to protect them from accessing this type of content and reassure them if they see content that is worrying for them, but that they can come and speak to you, because they can come across this content by mistake, or look for it because they're curious, or because there are some promises of special offers, and sometimes we can click on things without realizing where those clicks will take us. The best way to manage the risks around the content that a young person might see is to use those technical tools like parental controls to filter the type of content that a young person will see. It's important for you to check out the sites and the apps that they are using on a regular basis so that you can see the guidance on age ratings, and I'll share with you a bit later about how you can do that. For your younger children, anyone with children under the age of 5, I would really recommend downloading YouTube Kids and Google Kids so that it ensures that that content that they see is appropriate for their age. The second risk really is who they might meet online, and this could be about who they could contact or who they could be contacted by. Children don't just think of people they meet online through social networking and online games as strangers. To them, they're friends. They may chat or become friends with people on social networks or online games, even if they don't know them or have never met them before. This can make them vulnerable to inappropriate or unhealthy relationships, bullying, grooming, fake profiles, identity theft, stalking, hacking, or inadvertent contact. And sometimes the people they know offline, so in the real world, might be the ones that are bullying them in the real world, might be the ones that are bullying them or asking them to do things that they don't want to do on the online world. How they choose their friends and what information they share and how they recognise their relationships with young people is talking to them about who their friends are, knowing who their friends are and knowing what a healthy relationship looks like. Encourage them to think about what sites they visit and the types of images and comments that they share, because they can stay there for life. Encourage your child not to respond or retaliate to any form of bullying. Instead, help them to block and report the bullies and keep the information for evidence. Remind them that if anyone makes them feel sad, worried, or upset, that they can tell you, and that they can use the blocking and reporting tools within the apps and games. According to the NSPCC research in 2017, 23% of young people experienced an adult they do not know in real life trying to contact them over a site, app, or game. So the final area of risk is around what they might do online and their conduct online. Children can put themselves at risk through their own behaviour. They can overshare personal information or photos. They can spend too much time online, which has an impact on their health and well-being. They can run up large debts without realising they are spending money on in-app purchases. In June last year, I discovered that my son had spent £140 in a Microsoft game in about a month. It was his own money that he'd saved up, but he'd linked his card to the account, and all of his pocket money had been going into that invisible space. So we sat down and we had a conversation and we took some action and put some controls in place. So it's really simple, and even me, who's been delivering this workshop for a couple of years, can make these mistakes. So the best thing you can do is use those parental controls. Sometimes bullying, that children might bully others, sometimes unintentionally. They might pass on messages or share things or say things that are hurtful and in the moment. They might make inappropriate comments or statements themselves, which may affect their own reputation and their relationships and impact on their digital footprint. So what stays with them through their life and their online reputation. The best way to manage these risks is to agree some rules and boundaries with your children, whether it's the time they spend online, what they share, or how much money they spend. Help them understand the possible consequences of their behaviour and use technical tools like the passwords to manage and protect your money and your account details as well. Don't forget to think about your own online behaviour to help set a good example. It might not always feel like it, but your child does notice how you act and will follow your lead. The risks they face are also constantly changing, so keep talking to them as they grow so that you can keep up to date with what they are seeing, who they are meeting and interacting with, and the things that they are doing. Remember that the risks that they experience online are quite often the risks that they will experience in the real world too. And these risks are healthy and don't always lead to harm, as taking risks is a normal part of development for children. That's how they learn as they grow up, by making mistakes and learning from them. And every child's experience will be different. Try to strike the balance between keeping an eye on your child and giving them the independence and freedom to explore. Hang on. Let's see if I can go. So what type of parent are you? How we respond as parents. So knowing that our children are doing all of these things and more can sometimes feel a little bit daunting as a parent, knowing what to do and what's the right thing. This slide shows a spectrum of parenting responses. Right now, you might be feeling one of these after hearing some of the risks and the things that our children might do or be exposed to. So we might be feeling the need to control more, or we might be feeling casual about it and relaxed. Or we might feel, at the start of the workshop, we asked a question about how confident you feel about your child's online use, and a lot of you came out as confident. So you might continue to still feel that confidence. We find that parents often feel like they fit into one or the other. And that's okay. Though what we want to do is help you to explore being more confident more of the time. Confident to have conversations with your children, and confident to know where to go for advice and support. We're not here to tell you how to parent your children. You're the experts on what is best for your own child, and every family is different. And we all do the best we can to keep our children safe. And parents will have different approaches about how best to do that. And parents also might have a different approach to how they do that around online activity and offline activity. So I'm just going to give you some examples of the different parenting styles on the slide from either a positive or a negative perspective. So a controlling parent may feel in control by stopping their child accessing the website that they feel, and so they feel they've protected their child. The child might rebel against this and may access the website at someone else's house or in some other way. And this might make the child feel that they can't be trusted. A confident parent. The child feels their views are taken into consideration and they're part of the decision making. It also opens up channels of communication for the child and the parent about their own online behaviour. My children quite often will ask me to put my phone down, as I will talk to them and be replying to a text message at the same time. And I can't give them the attention that they deserve and they require if I'm also trying to text a friend. Children may still access sites without telling their parents, and this is something that can be managed when it happens in the same way, by having that conversation and agreeing what the boundaries are, and maybe talking through some of the content that they've seen or been party to. So the casual end, and sometimes I've fallen into this category myself. So by not engaging and not feeling very confident about their activity online, I've not engaged in conversations about it. I've reduced the chance of confrontation, and I have done the ignorance is bliss. Parents then don't feel confident or knowledgeable about how to intervene or start a conversation about what their child is doing online until you see the bill, which is kind of what happened to me last summer. So the overriding message is the best way you can protect your child is to establish a positive relationship with them around their life online. Talk to them, not just once, but have ongoing conversations as part of your family life, being curious about what it is that they're interested in online and what it is that they're doing online too. So we know that children experience lessons about digital safety and being safe online in school. It's part of their national curriculum these days. These are some of the things that your children are taught about, and we felt like it was important for you to share that information with you as well. So children are taught to know that people aren't always who they say they are online. They learn how to use and set up security settings to keep themselves safe. They learn about keeping their information private. They're taught about thinking before they post, like what is it they're posting? Knowing how to report on sites and services, and to understand their digital footprint. So understanding the impact of the things that they post might be around for many years to come. And so this has implications for their future reputation. And they know how to report concerns. So that's one of the things that they're taught how to do. So I've got a really short video here that Natalie, I think, is going to play for us. And this talks about how online gaming messaging works. So that video just shared a little bit of information about games and how the online messaging works and how you can control that and change that to help keep your children safe. So the triangle. This looks at the 3 ways in which we can keep children safe online. And I want to focus on all that we can do to help our children and young people stay safe. And it's not just down to us as parents. We all have a role to play. So families need to work together around staying safe online. And although parents can do things to help, children also learn how to stay safe online, and together we can use the technical tools that are there to help. So parents can explore the online world together with their children. You can talk about what your children do online early and often, and you can agree and set boundaries. What children can do is understand what they are doing online and where the risks might be. They can know how to stay safe and where to go if they're worried. And they can know how to use the privacy settings and reporting tools. And what can technology do itself? So parental controls on the home Wi-Fi devices and using search engines that can filter and block content so that children never see it. You can set your privacy settings on websites and apps to restrict the information that can be shared. And you can set time controls to control how long and when children are online. And you can password protect and control in-app spending, which I now have firmly in place. So this is the next video that talks about how easy it is for children to communicate with people and not know who they truly are. Natalie, are you able to share on that link?
Yeah, I'm just doing it now. Won't be a sec.
Sharing. Lucy has always been great at sharing. She shares her sweets, her headphones. When she was little, she even shared her chicken pox. Lucy also likes sharing things on the internet. One day, she uploaded a selfie with Oscar and she got a message from a boy. Then she got another asking her to send a picture of herself at bedtime. Lucy thought this was great. The boy loved her panda onesie. She said pandas were her favourite thing. He bet that Lucy even had pandas on her pants. He wondered if they went to the same school and if she wanted to meet. He said she should bring her cool panda pants. But the next day, after school, she couldn't see any boys waiting. There was just a man. Hello, love. Sometimes children share things they shouldn't online, and the effects can be devastating. Help keep your child safe. Search Share Aware.
So we can see how easy that is. If you search NSPCC on YouTube, there's lots of helpful little videos, and they're quite useful to have a look at yourself and then maybe choose the ones that you would like to share and watch with your children. So when the NSPCC surveyed young people and asked them what they wanted their parents to be, these were the answers that the young people gave. So they wanted parents to be educated about social networks, sites and games. They wanted to know what they were and how they worked. They wanted their parents to be able to have open conversations about what they do online and how they do things. They wanted to actively engage and work things through with them. So they wanted parents to take into account their perspective and their experiences and the pressures that they face. And they wanted parents to be open and engaging about the issues and concerns. And I'm guessing that these are the types of things that we want to be able to do with our children too. How you can help them stay safe. So have the conversation early and often. Be interested in what they do and make sure they know where to go for help. Learn about and explore the online world together and making sure that content is age appropriate. Agree the family rules and boundaries and be a great role model. They see what you do and they follow how you behave. And use the technical tools and the parenting controls and check that they know how to use the privacy and reporting tools themselves. So this is about working together as a team. Talk, explore, agree, manage. How you can help them stay safe. So these are the two major reporting websites. So any illegal content should be reported to the Internet Watch Foundation, and that's a global site. And any abuse online can be reported to Click CEOP. And any concerns online should be reported to the website the child is on, where those problems happened. And if serious enough, concerns should also be reported to the police. And again, the Think You Know website has lots of information about reporting. If you want to stay in the know, because things are changing rapidly for us and for our children when they access the online world, the NSPCC NetAware website, and there's also an app, has a list of all of the social networking sites and websites that young people use, and they've got an age rating, and they've got a review from parents about how safe they think they are or how appropriate they are, and they have they have a review from children and young people as well. So you can see at a glance the risks involved on those sites for how young people will use them and access them. And that website's updated quite frequently, and the app is really easy to use. So that's the NSPCC NetAware. And these are some resources and links for you. And I think Natalie said, if you email the Strengthening Families email, that we can send out the slides to you so that you've then got all of these links. A lot of the content and information for today's session has come from the Think You Know website and the NSPCC. So starting early, when your children are like as young as, well, under 5 really, use the YouTube Kids app and the Safe Search Kids app for your young people's access to the online world. That will mean that what they see is age appropriate. It's really hard to ask your young people to start using these apps and platforms if they've already got used to using the mainstream Google or YouTube for their search and their internet access. And for any concerns, children can call Childline or the NSPCC, and the NSPCC helpline number is also for parents as well. So remember, millions of children access the internet every day, and most do so in a safe and secure way that enriches their learning and their social experience. It really is an amazing thing. My son has had 2 friends move, his best childhood friends move away from the local area, and he gets to speak to them on video chat 2 or 3 times a week, and it's like they never left, and they have those play dates, and it's so lovely to hear their voices in the room as if they are all together. We wouldn't have had that a few years ago, so that feels like a real gift to us. However, there are risks out there, and as parents, we need to have the knowledge and the confidence to help our children manage those risks and keep themselves safe. And there are other people who are part of our family and our network as well. So share these messages with other family members, with grandparents, aunts and uncles, other parents that you know. Because sometimes children will prefer to talk to somebody else who isn't you. And it's important that they share your knowledge and your approach, and they understand how they can help and support your child. And they can reinforce where children can get help and support if things go wrong, including coming and talking to you. An idea that came from a previous workshop as a tip for young people when doing things online is to think. Think before you speak, text or type. Is what I'm saying, texting or typing, true, helpful, important, necessary and kind? There is a power in the parent voice. So 60% of children and young people surveyed by NetAware said that they had altered their online behaviour following parental advice. See, they do listen to us. They might not tell us that they listen to us, but they do. And we've got one last video for you. I'm not sure that there's captions for this either, Dawn. I'm really sorry.
Can I be?
Oh, look, there is.
Can I write on your wall?
No.
Will you be my friend? But I write on all my friends' walls.
I think I'd have to know you before I was your friend.
All my friends have got like 180 friends. I've only got 2.
Yeah.
Would it help if maybe like you looked at my photos? That one's with 2 like really pretty girls. Like, you know, that's my ex. You know, I was in a relationship with her, but you know, I've changed my status now.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your relationship status?
Single.
Oh, good. Cool. I like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good.
I like your jacket.
Thank you.
I like your sunglasses. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Do you want to comment on it? I like your Ray-Bans. Could I poke you? Poke? Poke? No?
No.
What, poke? What, you want to poke?
Can I poke you?
Yeah, you can poke me if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, how am I... No, dude, seriously, just be my friend. If I just show you these pictures in this photo album... What's your name on Twitter?
Mark de Libo.
So you use Twitter?
Yeah.
I'm going to follow you.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'm going to follow you.
Right. Okay.
Wicked, cool.
Great.
All right, thanks a lot. Nice one. Thanks,
Okay.
guys. Yeah. Wicked. Bye. Cheers.
Bye.
Wicked. All right, thank you. That's great. Wicked. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye. Oh, you're actually following me.
I'm following you.
Should we?
Okay.
Okay.
Should we go or? Status update. Can't wait for my fabulous evening at the E&O. Lol. Ruffle.
Ruffle?
Do you like?
What?
Yeah?
All right.
What's your comment?
Pardon?
Do you want to be my friend?
No, it's all right.
So firstly, it's been a long time since I've watched that video, and just the thought of all of those people together out and about, and like restaurants being open and London being a buzz was interesting, but also thinking about the message in that video about how the things that we do online can feel quite alien to what we would do in the real world, and just the synergy of that. So it was just a bit of a light-hearted way to end the session. We do have a final poll question, I think.
Yep.
So this is just to really reflect on what you've heard in this in the last 40 odd minutes, and where you're feeling now in terms of your confidence. I know you kind of felt a bit quite confident and very confident before.
Don't think is the poll working?
It's up. I've got the. I've got it. I
Does it
can.
give you the option to vote from what I can see?
I think that might be because you're a panelist, but I can see that participants are.
Participants are
They-
contributing.
Great.
Dawn says it's working, so I believe her.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so someone might have to share the results because I can't actually see it from my end either.
So we've got 33 participants, 29 have responded. So that's 90% of votes. 41% are very confident, 38% quite confident, 10% unsure, and 10% not very confident, but there's no not confident at all. And someone's put in the chat, very confident.
That's great to know.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any questions that have been asked.
No, we didn't have any questions come up. I just sought to highlight that, the internet changes all the time, doesn't it? New websites come up, new information comes up, new groups come up that, people join, new games come, and the way that they work might be different, might be in a new way. So I think I'm becoming a parent, I think it's really important to just keep up to date. I think for parents, Penny shared some resources about, how you can check some of these sites and, apps and things like that. So it's really important, when your child wants to access something, also have that knowledge of, what it is that they will actually access when they do join these things.
And that's why the NetAware site in particular is really good for parents, because when those new things come up, they're quite quick to respond and have a bit of a report on them so parents can check them out. I remember when my children started to get to an age of doing things online and playing games was when Roblox was very new, and using that site to assess how I was going to use it or allow my children to use it. So it is really helpful. Yeah. I want to thank everyone for listening and their energy and their attention.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. There is going to be a feedback that will pop up as we end this session. So please, we're always looking at improving what we're providing. We started these workshops, because everybody was stuck at home. Life had changed for everyone, and we were really, really eager to hear your feedback and for you to tell us, what things we can improve on, what new things you would like to see from us. If you have any questions, please email us at strengthening.families@newham.gov.uk. My colleague Natalie has just popped the email address in the chat, so please save that. If you want copies of these slides, you can also request for them and it can be sent for you if you want to have the links that were shared as well. We do have a Brighter Futures WhatsApp group for parents. So if that's something that you would like to access, please again, send the message to strengthening.families@newham.gov.uk with your telephone number saying that you want to have access to the Brighter Futures WhatsApp group for parents, and you guys can have access to that. Well, thank you for joining us again. Please email us if you have anything. Go on, Penny.
Are we going to share the theme for next week's session?
Oh, theme for next week's session was I have to think.
Oh,
now.
I don't know.
I believe it was exploitation. Sexual exploit, yeah, safeguarding children in the community. So please join us if you have friends, family members, you know, your children's parents that you think, you know, they would benefit from accessing our workshops. We do upload them on YouTube, but if you know anybody that would be interested around safeguarding children in the community, please get them to join us. The link is always the same, so it's the exact same link you accessed today. Thank you for joining us, everyone. It was lovely to have you here. Take care. Bye.